Hello and welcome along and welcome back to Geiselsberg here on the PlayStation 4. It is day 5, it's late spring. We have got all of our crops seeded. So we're moving on to the next stage and getting ourselves nicely ahead of things by popping down to the shop and getting ourselves a fertilizer spreader. Now I'm gonna get a fertilizer spreader that is slightly larger than I probably would otherwise get, and that is because I want something that spreads lime as well. And I did get a rear-mounted fertilizer spreader to do this job as well, but it's a little bit small for what I'm after, I'm thinking. So let's have a look in here, and we're gonna go and have a look here. And we're looking at fertilizer technology, and under here, so the one I added is this one. It's the Zach's 1402. Now I'm not going to go for this because it's a bit, well, it's 14. It's not expensive. It's small. It would work well for the for our tractor and everything, but it only holds 1750 litres. And when you're doing lime, which is what I also want this to do, it's just, you're going to be forever filling that up. So what I've decided to do is instead we're going to go for this, for the Breedle K105. So this is the smaller single wheelbase Breedle. Oops. I will do when I actually select it. There we go. So this is a nice little spreader. We're not going to get we're going to keep the spreading discs, so we're not going to get the larger spreading section on it. I don't think we need to actually even put an extension on it at all. One of the nice things about this is it also has narrow tires if we want. We're not going to initially do that. We're not going to initially do that. We're going to initially have it like this. And yeah, that should do us pretty nicely for what we're after. So there it is. So we'll hook up to it now and get that done. Also looking at this, we need to clean our tractors. We've been going fairly heavily with this Massey for a while now, I think, and yeah, it could really do with a good clean. It is in a position where where it needs a good clean. You can see actually the size of this Breedle compared to this tractor is not too bad. So yeah, this should work for us pretty well, I think. It should be a good setup. So we're going to get this back to our farm. I want to zoom right out because we're going to use we'll use this angle for doing this. And as I was saying last time, actually, with the way the camera works on PlayStation, ooh, these cars are fast. You'd actually do pretty well with a time lapse on here, and I'd be I'm very tempted to try another time lapse. Except that historically they've not done too well on my channel. I've always said to you guys, actually, if you want me to do something, so let me know. So if you'd ever like me to do another time lapse, please let me know. If enough people were to ask and go, yes, do a time lapse, I absolutely would. Right, so we want to fill this, which is, I have no idea what button on my control panel that would be. I know what it is on the controller. It's L3, like that. Right, we want to fill it with fertilizer. But yeah, I have no idea what that is on the control panel or anything like that. Oh, L3. Oh, I know where L3 is on my wheel, actually. Right, so we are going to go. We've got the time on 15 times because, to be honest, we can put it on 15 times at the moment. Even if we don't get all of this fertilizing done today, then we can get the rest of it done tomorrow. None of our crops are germinated yet because the temperature has not been high enough for any crop on our farm to germinate. Weeds wise, you can see we've got quite a few weeds about. So what we're going to be doing is getting rid of those at some point as well. So let's activate this. And away we go. And I need to zoom out a bit because I can't actually see how good my spread is at the moment. So let's zoom right out. And we can see that we've got good coverage. So we're going to do the headlands first. And it's something that, after speaking last time, I asked the question, you know, what do you think to the different style and everything? And a lot of people, when they were talking about it, were talking about maybe having to do the headlands and the main body of the field slightly differently. And I understand what they're saying completely, because basically, in order to get the hired workers to do what I want them to do on here, I'm going to have to alter my play style slightly. And things like cultivating and seeding and things like that, I will have to get... too far out. I will have to get the headlands done first. Right, I'm just going to stop that. Yeah, trying to get that. Look at that wavy line around the top. Try to get the hired worker to it. I'm going to have the headlands done first. Give the hired workers sort of shape my fields to then get the hired worker to work on it. There we go, and we're back. Yeah, it's going to be a slight change to the playstyle, and it's kind of something I'd expected a little bit. So that is all fine. Look at that. Have to give a little bit of overlap there so that we can then come back and do that there. That is all good. So we have 5 fields to do today. Now I need to turn off and actually make proper turns in the corners. There we go. Otherwise, we do just end up with that wavy line and not getting full coverage on everything. Yeah, if you're not smooth in these corners, you don't get full coverage. And we want to get as good a coverage with this fertilizer as we can. And you can see, one of the reasons why I said this spreader is actually a bit big for this farm. We are only at 95%. Well, we're at 95% left, and we've done the headlands on this field. So it's yeah. There's a lot of spread left. Now the way this goes, I'm going to go nice and straight up here, and we actually don't have any other jobs to do today. We are purely focused on this. And our spreader. So we want to get something a little bit nice here. There we go. Hide that. I'll hide that. And get in there with that, I think. We are almost at the end of our first line. Or in fact, we are at the end of our first line. Got a very nice coverage there. So it's all about trying to get that as good as possible. And away I go, and yeah, got a good coverage again. So now we're able to just go up and down the field like this, and make sure that we just cover the rest of the field. And we've got plenty of space in which to turn as well, which is good news. And yeah, have this field done in no time, which is good because, as I said, we're on 15 times today, and we need to make sure that we use our time wisely. Now that run, oops, was not quite so straight. Going to have a bit of an overlap here. I should really have turned that off in the headland, because I want to make sure that I get everything but we don't need to be spreading where we already are. We're not in a huge loss for fertilizer. This entire thing should do us, well, this should probably do us, if we're lucky, the whole way through all of our fertilizing for this year. Just this single hopper on this. And maybe some contracts. Now, this is the thing. I think come summer, we will probably do some contracts. See if we can get some extra cash in that way. Now, these next 2 fields I'm going to treat as one field. I think after this year, we've got different crops in them at the moment. Let's have a quick look at this, shall we? Fields. Right, there we go. Fields 38 and 39. They currently have in them. Let's have a look. They currently have in them. There we go. 38 has canola, 39 has oats. So they are different fields. There are different crops in there. I think as the farm expands, that will change. We can either actually physically take this row of grass out on here, or we can just go and just plant them as one field with the same crop in both, and then just ignore the grass. I think it'd be better for us to take the grass out. There's no trees in the way or anything like that, and would work well. I mean, you can see from what we're going to do in a minute, we might as well treat the spreading of this as one, because we've got a tiny slither this side of the field that is just, yeah, it would not make sense to not try and cover the other field at the same time. So we will do we'll do the headlands as one, and then we'll go from there. So we'll turn that off. We'll head around here, position ourselves for the next headland, and reverse. There we go. And yeah. So as I said, this fertilizer, I think we're going to end up with probably somewhere in the region of about half full at the end of this. We do need to do 2 more fertilizations, 2 more rounds of fertilizer on these fields. Oh, can we bring this back? Yes, we can. Get that corner, and yes, really pleased with that. Yeah, so we should have enough in here for another round of fertilization. I would quite like to go and do a couple of missions that cover our fertilizer costs for today. You know, that is always a great way to use your fertilizer to then pay for your fertilizer. I think is one of the great things that you can do in FS19. It just completely allows you to stay almost money neutral on your farm for some of your big jobs, which is yeah, an incredible piece of functionality on here. Alright, let's get around to here, and you see, treating this as one field just works so much better for us. And we can now turn around, and we almost drive down this green stretch to get this, but I want to go about here-ish. I think that will cover me for this first run and keep things pretty straight. So yeah, we got a good mix of crops here. I think what we're going to end up doing over the next few videos is probably expanding the farmyard a bit. We still have nearly 200,000. I think we should probably start getting some animals in on here. Animals are something that we've not looked at yet. And actually, I'd like to know from you guys, what animals would you like to see me try here on the console? You know, we can do pigs, we can do sheep, we can do cows, Any of them is valid. We're currently not set up for any grass work, but certainly we can do grass work spring, summer. The only thing I will say is I'm not going to try and handle bales on here. I will be using things like auto loaders and things like that, because while I'm fairly proficient with using that kind of stuff on the PC, I am, even with the side panel, I am still trying to get the hang of it here on console. Yeah, well, actually, it shouldn't be too bad using a front loader on here. And all of our tractors we can add a front loader bracket to. I'm not sure if... Yeah, we've not got one on this. I think we might have one on the Deutz front loader bracket. So, yeah, we could do that. Of course, cows would be the most expensive option. Chickens would be the cheapest. Yeah, would really like to know in the comments which animals you would like to see me attempt to do on here. And we can rework things slightly to accommodate that, especially at the moment. I would say we would do pretty well for pigs. Right, so my wheel has just reset. So I'm going to sort that and be right back. Okay, so we're good. We're back. That's all good. So yeah, I don't know. That's the second time that's done that today, actually. I'm hoping that that is not a trend that is going to continue. It would not be good if it was. It is 10:45 in the morning now on Geiselsberg, and we are doing well. We are about halfway through this job, which is absolutely brilliant. Which should make this a fairly straight cut video. I mean, we've had a couple of bits where I've had to change it, but we're not going to have any massive time leaps or anything like that. We are doing pretty well with this. And that is done. And I'm going to actually jump on the road down here. And we'll head down that bit there, past the BGA. Because that's the other thing we've got here, was we actually have the BGA fairly close to us. So could make something of that as well if we wanted. Because that's the BGA in there. And that's yeah, a very, very close, very nice piece of functionality we could use if we wanted to. I think now most things on this map, the BGA is not that expensive at all. Right, and away we go. And we are doing this a little bit zoomed out today, but it's, yeah, I'm enjoying the difference. I'm enjoying the ability to, or the extra view of the scenery that we're getting from how we're doing this. It's looking quite nice, and I'm actually really pleased with how we're going on here. We've got our farm established. We're looking pretty good. I'm looking to do a big extension to the farm once we've got our first harvest out of the way, because field 40 is going to be the most likely direction in which our farm expands. We know we can't do it into the yard for the most part, because the yard, well, unless I can find some way of getting past the collision stuff. Ooh, that's slow up that hill. I think I know why this notch exists now. It's so that you get a flat bit on this field. But yeah, I would. We're not going to be able to do anything with the top area of the farm. We've discovered this a few times now. It is not an area that is easy for us to work. Actually, speaking of fields earlier, that we're probably going to take the line out between. I think if field 40, if a lot of field 40 gets swallowed up by yard, we'll take this grass out here, and field 41 will merge into what's left of field 40, which is going to be the oddest shaped field. It really is. But yeah, as I say, top yard. We can't build on there. The way that is originally constructed basically doesn't allow for that. We are in a position where it's got a lot of modelled ground, And the modelled ground doesn't remove when you start from scratch. So that's why we've had a hard time placing anything there. Is because it's basically an entirely modelled yard, and the models haven't removed with the rest of the yard when start from scratch removed everything else. And it is one of the pities. It's one of those things where I kind of go, when you're making a map and you get stuff to remove in start from scratch and farm manager, please, please, please test what that means for your map. I would, if it means that we suddenly lose whole areas where you have the ability to place stuff, then please make sure that those things that get in the way of people building yards in your yard areas also remove under those game setups, because otherwise it means that people have to do exactly what I'm talking about. And field 40 is not the flattest of fields, but we've probably got enough space there to build a yard, I think. And we're going to have to do some terraforming to do it and things like that. So it is really a case of, okay, we'll make the best of what we've got. But if you've not got the flat areas of the yards to do this, it does make it harder for people to play maps under the full whack. And a perfect example actually of this is I mostly love how Marwell Manor does it. Marwell Manor does remove the entire farm. I kind of wish the buildings were placeable again. I wish that they were. I wish the barns were separate entities on that map, and that you could replace them as you liked. But the actual game setup for Marwell Manor does exactly that. You start off in start from scratch or farm manager, and it removes everything. Oh no, wrong place. You don't, but. And you have nothing in the way then of building your farm at all in the main farmyard area, which is great, which is absolutely brilliant. At the time, there weren't. At the time I did it, there weren't really any barns or anything you could do much with. But that has changed now, and yeah, it's absolutely great. With all the British sheds and things you could get now, the yard you can build on Marwell is actually pretty cool, and I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see the ability, if you have farm manager or start from scratch, to build your yards a lot better, because at the moment, certainly on this map, we have a whole area where I'm trying to figure out what I can fit in it, but it's really difficult. It's really hard on this map to get a full use of these yard areas. Right, let's there we go, round and through, and yeah, you can see this bit is flatter than most, so I think and we're already encroaching into this field with our yards, so I think field 40 up to about here-ish is probably going to end up as yard for us, which I think will work out pretty well. And then it's just where I'm going to put my farmhouse. I think I need to download another farmhouse or two. I only have the British farmhouse or the standard map farmhouse at the moment. The standard map farmhouse, of course, is 200,000, so even now we couldn't afford it. Especially if we're going to do anything else. We do have our combine and stuff, but I think we're going to spend some money to get whatever animals we get on here. I think we're also going to expand into that grass field to the south of our yard at the moment. It's a good area. It's nice and flat, so we can put some buildings and stuff in there. Maybe place the animals in there, and that will work well for us there. Also give us a little bit of grassland, and shouldn't be too expensive either. Looking at the size of it, hopefully we should be able to buy that without too much fuss. And yeah, so we're going to expand that way anyway. So grass, I don't think will be a problem. We have several grass fields around here that we can still buy, and because they're not huge, should be fairly inexpensive for us. I don't want too many bales and things anyway. We shouldn't need too many, especially early on. But yeah, we have the ability to expand our yard here. It is just a pity that we can't use this top area very well, because it's got a very restricted area. But we will find other ways. And that is one of the things I've started from scratch, is it's working around these obstacles. As well as with them. And just makes that much more of an interesting setup. Right, so that gets all of our fertilizer spreading done. I'm quite pleased with that. That is a job. We have 69%, so we have nearly 70% of this left. As I said, I don't think we're not going to have to get a sprayer in order to do fertilizing at the moment. What we are probably going to have to do, though, is get a sprayer to deal with the massive amount of weeds that have appeared on our fields. So, yeah, at some point we're going to have to do some spraying. However, at the moment, we seem to be doing fairly well. I need to, I'm going to have to disconnect this, I think, and move some stuff about. So we'll do that quickly, because at the moment, I don't think we can get this into this shed. So I'm just going to grab our subsoiler and move that. And this is partly why we need the farm expansion. We're running out of space to store the myriad of equipment we've got. We know we still need a sprayer. There we go. So hopefully this will fit in this space. If we can turn it round. There we are. I think the sensitivity on my accelerator pedal is a little high. I want to see if I can adjust that here. And adjust it on the PC as well. There we go. Yeah, that is good. Reverse this up. And in. There we are. And voila, there we go. That is nicely in position. So we'll jump out of here. We'll move around. And yeah, that, I think, is where we are going to end for today. Really, really pleased with that. That has been an excellent job. Well done. First round of fertilizing is done. Crops are looking great. We do need to get something to clean this tractor, though. So we might look into that next time. For now, though, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.